Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. And I appreciate you stopping by and taking part of your day to watch what I'm about to show. I have made a little more than a handful of paper pumpkin alternatives. These were made using parts of the Winter Woods October 2019 paper pumpkin kit. This is the box. And before I get started, I still have most all the glue dots. I don't think I used any or not many on the cards I made. Maybe one or two. Not even out of my, I might have used a couple out of my stash. Not too many though. I used a few of the little snowflakes, not a whole lot. I used a few of the cardinals. I used a number of these strips. I think I don't think I used any of these actually, because the one I used out of here is on the first card that I did when I did the unboxing, and that was the Made as Intended. I did use several of the I guess that's Pool Party. I have one left out of this sheet, and I'm saving this because I think that sort of looks like a cage, and I have an idea for that. So, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. I have some scraps of envelope and the trees, and you'll see when I get to the cards, but I punched some things out of that center part, and there's a little bit left, and I used some as strips on another one. I used some bits of envelope. I still have another piece there. I was saving these silver strips, but I'm actually tossing them. So I think I have 7 card fronts and 7 of the trees left, but I only have 1 envelope because I used the envelopes either to tear apart or as envelopes for the cards I did make. So with that, let me put this aside and show you what I made. Okay, I tried to keep the first couple fairly simple. I did bring in Night of Navy cardstock, and it opens this way, and then I used a piece of Whisper White. So you do have to have some other cardstock, and you can use whatever you have in your stash. I used Night of Navy because the ink we got was Night of Navy, so I wanted to use that in case people didn't have too many other ink pads. But I did bring in Pool Party. So as far as and I wanted to use the stamp set. So for the background on a piece of Whisper White, I used the Night of Navy on this this part here, but I stamped off and then I stamped because I didn't want it to be really dark. And then the Pool Party in the snowflake, I used full strength, and I just put roughly 7 of those partially and fully on. And then I did pull out my, is this the right one? I don't think that's the right, maybe it is. Hang on. Yes, this is it. This is, I can barely see it, Shimmer Frost White with alcohol. I have the shimmer paints, and I already had this made up, but I had to reconstitute it with some alcohol. So the Frost White, which is in the annual catalog, it was a carryover from last year. You just put a drop or 2 in your sprayer and then put alcohol in. They recommend 70%. One sec. Sorry about that. As I was saying, they recommend 70%-ish. I use one that's 90 and I haven't had an issue. Just spray it on a piece of scrap the first time. And I did heat dry. I'm trying to show you the shimmer. There we go. And then this is just a strip of Night of Navy that actually fits across this way, but I didn't like it that way, so I put it up and down. I wrapped it in the Toile shimmer ribbon, and this is actually the Retired Very Vanilla, but it's really hard to tell the difference. I guess the Whisper White is a little brighter, but I'm trying to finish this other roll up first. And then this I just punched out, I think with a 2-inch circle punch on, it might actually be a piece of one of the envelopes. Yeah, I think it is because it's kind of thin. I stamped the snowflake on it, and these are the regular glimmer enamel dots. That's actually in Coastal Cabana. I have one left in Coastal Cabana. And in the center, and then I stamped the Winter Wishes from the set on here, and these Night of Navy blings are from the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and it's these over here. These are Coastal Cabana. I could have used them too. I haven't used any of the Coastal Cabana. Wow. Anyway, I just put 2 of those on, and that kind of goes with the dots in the background. And then on the inside, I didn't put any sentiment. I just stamped off a few Pool Party snowflakes and put the little cardinal down here in the bottom. So that's card number 1. And the envelope, I just stamped the snowflake on the front and the back, and it is one of the ones from the kit because it's got the wood grain in it. So that's card number 1. And then card number 2, when I did this card, I actually showed y'all how to take the envelope apart. So I had an envelope already cut apart, well, cut open. So I wanted to use that. This is the inside of one of the envelopes, and I thought, let's just make a simple card. So I just brought in, this is thick Whisper White cardstock, really thick. And this is Poppy Parade, which is supposed to be one of the coordinating colors. This I cut out of the piece between the trees. You know, because I thought, oh man, there's a lot of, here you can see it. And I used the tailored tag punch, this here, because this is very shimmery and I didn't want to waste that. So I cut that out with the tailored tag punch and stamped Season's Greetings from the stamp set in the kit. Used this textured weave ribbon in Poppy Parade. It's 1/2 inch. That's from the annual catalog, and just put a little cardinal down here. And inside, I did the Poppy Parade. I did stamp Wishing You a Merry Christmas and a Very Happy New Year. Had a little thin strip of the wood grain left and put that on the edge, and that's it. And that is a really nice sturdy card. And then the envelope goes really well with it because of the wood grain. And then it has the little cardinal on the front and one on the bottom here. And I was thinking I could have done the mirror image and put it over here, but I was lazy and didn't feel like doing that. So that's the second card. Then the next one, I wanted to do something with the card front, and I made a shaker. So I pulled out the snow globe domes. I used the die from the, what is it called? Snow globe scenes dies. Let me open them so you can see. I didn't use any of the stamps in that set, but I did use this. And I did use the deer, okay? And I didn't use any of the other pieces. Now the deer, oh well, let me go. The snow globe, so I cut out part of the trees from this sheet of paper. This was one of the card fronts, right? And then I glued that down to the Shaded Spruce is this card base, Shaded Spruce. Then this was still not down. Then I put these snow globes. I did it the right way, guys. Instead of the way I did it last time. But these have adhesive on the back and then also on the front. So I took the adhesive off the back, laid it down, and then I took the adhesive off this. Well, then I put a few of the snowflake sequins on the picture, as well as some chunky, what is this stuff called? This is in the holiday catalog here. Ice Stampin' Glitter, just a little bit, because I wanted it to look like snow was falling, and when you shake it, right? Like that. And on the trees, and then it landing on the trees. And then I took the adhesive off the front and then put this down over it, and that held the sequins and things in, and glued this down. I put glue on the back and then pushed it down over. So that's how I did that. I hope that made sense to y'all. I didn't want to put a glow bottom on because it's the trees and I want it to be continuous trees or it would look weird. Did put one little cardinal here. Up here I stamped with Versamark before I put this down. I stamped the little dots with Versamark, and then I just sprinkled them with, oops, that's not it, Dazzling Diamonds. I didn't use the chunkier glitter. I used the finer glitter that Stampin' Up! Carries called Dazzling Diamonds, and I just sprinkled that all over the Versamark ink. You can see it up there to make it sparkly like the snow was falling, and since there was glitter in with the sequins, and you don't need to put a lot in. Sometimes you put too much in and then it is too much and it won't shake right, but this shakes really nice. And then the deer out of the still scenes I cut out on shimmery glimmer paper, the white glimmer paper. You see that I cut two. There's another one coming later. And I had watched a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that I'm not really used to watching, and I can't remember her name. If I can find the video again, it's like from, when did she did this right before the holiday catalog came out, I think. And she was using feels like Frost designer paper, and she did put her little deer in here in a snow globe. But she did the same thing. She cut it out of the shimmer paper and then used our alcohol markers. I think she used a darker antler. I like the antlers to be more natural, like bone. And then I used a combination of dark soft suede. I used light crumb cake on its antlers. I tried to leave a little white on the tail because the deer around here are white-tailed deer. And then I did use the bronze just on its hooves, and I guess that's the only place I used it. Yeah, I should put a little dot actually on its eye right here. I don't know if it's going to show up. And he's bumped up on dimensionals, as is this. And that's about it. Yeah, so kind of easy version of a snow globe. And then inside I just had a little strip of this card left because I had to cut it down, and I put that along the side, and then I stamped in Night of Navy, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. So that is card number, what, 3? 3. And I just put one of the envelopes with it. I didn't do anything, but I may change that out and just put, I have some, Stampin' Up! In the annual catalog has some white with silver foil envelopes without anything in the inside, and since this doesn't have wood grain anywhere else, I may change that out because I don't have enough envelopes left. Okay, so the next one, I tried to go back to being a little easy again, easier, but you do need a couple colors of ink. So what I did here is I took a Night of Navy A2 size card base, 5.5 by 4 1/4. So it's actually 8.5 by 5.5, and then scored it 4 1/4. Then I went in 1/4 inch, so this is 5 1/4 tall by 4 for the Poppy Parade base, and then this is I believe it's a piece of Whisper white cardstock, and that would be 3.75 inches, 3 3/4 by 5. And what I did is I took the Winter Wishes and the Season's Greetings, and I had my chamois handy here, and I had Pool Party, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade inks here, and I just stamped at different levels. Now to get that somewhat straight, I had my grid paper out like this, and I was trying to space it like about every 3 lines, sometimes 2, but mostly 3, and that way, like, I had the card lined up and I was trying to move the ruler down to keep my lines sort of straight. I think I did okay. I got a couple closer or further apart than I did some of the others, but I think it came out okay. And I just alternated where the colors were and the sayings and things. So I tried to mostly keep the winter wishes either in the pool party, or there's a couple Night of Navy, and Season's Greetings is in the Poppy Parade or the Night of Navy mostly. So yeah, that's what I did. And then here, this was a piece of the envelope. I used my Starburst punch, and then I stamped, this is a piece of an envelope also. I stamped the big snowflake on in Night of Navy, and then I punched that out with the 2-inch, because the Starburst is about 2 1/8 roughly. So I stamped that out 2-inch and put another Costa Cabana. I had 3 of them left, so I used 2 now. And then I used another little bit of that ribbon just to give it a little shimmer without adding too much more bulk or bling. And I didn't want to hide the words, so I just bent it over, have a little bit sticking out the top, glue dotted that onto the back, and then that whole circle is up on dimensionals. And then this is again the Poppy Parade and the Whisper White, and wishing you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. So same thing here. I may change this envelope out. I don't think I stamped anything on it. No, I didn't. And use just the white with the silver, or even just plain Whisper White, except I'm out of those, so I'm waiting for an order to come in. That's just a lot of envelopes mostly. A couple other little things. Okay, so my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th card, I used another envelope. This is another envelope, and this is a piece of Whisper White. And I had a card. I allowed myself, I think, 2 extra cards. The first one was used for that shaker, this one here. And the other one, I fussy cut the trees out of. And I think, oh, and I'll show you on the next card how I used the rest of the front. But this is just a simple card, background, trees, the ribbon down here to make it look like snow, some of the snowy sequins. This is a piece of shaded spruce cardstock. This is a piece of envelope, and I can tell because it's a little bit whiter than the Whisper White. And I stamped, now how I did this, the stamp is, it goes straight across, but I made sure I only inked the word Seasons, and then I put a piece of scrap like here, stamped Seasons, and then I cleaned it, and then I only inked up the word Greetings, and I shifted and put a piece of scrap over here, so I made sure if I had any ink on here, it wouldn't get onto here. So that's how I did the Season's Greetings in Night of Navy. And then these are the shaded spruce rhinestone basic jewels, holiday rhinestone basic jewels. I only have a few, but they're the shaded spruce ones that are in that kit. And then inside, same sentiment in Night of Navy, and just a strip of wood grain again from that same envelope. So, and that one I will keep this envelope with, since it goes with that. Oh, look at that, it matches up perfectly. Yep, because this came from inside here, so it actually is that paper. Okay, so that is card number 5, I believe. And then here I wanted to use the rest of that card front. So I had taken the trees out, but then I had this navy and this green down here and a little bit from here. I don't know that I could use much from here. I guess, yeah, I did. I used a little bit right here. So that's what I did. I cut strips off, and then I flagged them with the triple banner punch. And then these are two of the labels that came in the kit, and I stamped both Winter Wishes and Season's Greetings. I glued them all down onto a piece of Night of Navy, and then I wrapped the basic white twine in the annual catalog around 3 times, and then tied a little bow onto the twine just to soften it a little bit. And I think that came out really cool. I was pretty pleased with myself for doing that. Different, right? Different. And I thought about putting some bling on, but I don't think I'm going to. I think the silver is enough bling, and then the white brings out the white background. And then inside just that main stamp. I thought about putting some paper or something here, but I didn't really have much more of this left, so I don't think I had any, except maybe a little piece lopped off of there or something. This piece was actually on the bottom of here, so I put this one down first, and then I cut it off, and then this is what was left, and I just flagged that too. And then this was the skinny piece that was from over here, and this piece was from the night sky up there, and then this was the bottom part here. So I used every bit of that card front that I could after I took the trees out of it, except for a little bit that had been around the bottom of the tree. Yeah, so that is the next one, and I don't have an envelope with that. I'm going to use just a regular Whisper White, or Whisper White with foil on that, because there's no wood grain with that either. And then I have one more card to share with you, and that one took a little longer to do. This time I used my what do you call these, decorative mask from the holiday catalog. And here's what I did. I used the mask on a piece of, actually the back of that card that I took apart to do this and the trees. There was a back left, so I used the back of that card. I stamped through the stencil in with Versamark ink. I just, you know, dabbed it all over, and then I heat embossed it with Stampin' Emboss powder in white. Excuse my voice. Yeah, white Stampin' Emboss powder to get the trees. And then I took the Pool Party ink pad, and I went over, this looks dirty, but I rubbed it off first because it had gray on it before. Anyway, I used Pool Party and brought out the background in the trees with that, and the stamping, the embossed area resists it. And then I took one of the trees from the kit, you know, that has the two going up, and they're a little bit different color, but that's okay. Anyway, well, before I did that, I did another one of the deer from the Still Snow Globe scenes. Same thing, antlers in the, I did it in the sparkle shimmer paper, antlers in light crumb cake, deer in dark soft suede, left his little tail a little bit white, and his hooves, well, you can only see one of them in bronze. And I left a little spot for his eye on this one too. I did put a cardinal on. And then what I did is I took a piece, this is the other, like the sheet that I used, this one, there's the centerpiece from that. Instead of doing a tailored tag punch or something, I just cut a strip. I stamped on it in Early Espresso with the Season's Greetings, so the dark brown Early Espresso ink. You could use Night of Navy, but I wanted it to tie in with the brown and the deer because I felt like I had too much green already. And then I did use Shaded Spruce. You can see that sparkles. Hopefully you can see that sparkles there. Right, there we go. So that is the same paper as what's down here that came in the kit. And then I put the bottom of the deer that was sparkly, like the snow part, down under here. I just glued him down, but he's glued in front of these trees, and then these trees are glued down in front of the deer. So there's 3 layers of dimension, if you will, plus then this sticks up. So 4 layers, little cardinal, just like they did in the in the kit instructions. And then these are 3 of the small shaded spruce holiday rhinestones again, because it was too white and I was playing around with putting a piece of wood grain here and I just didn't like it, but I felt like it needed something here to help offset this. So this flag is over on the right, so I put the gems down here on the left, and I think that added some balance to it. Now inside, I may go back later and put a piece of shaded spruce and then whisper white with the sentiment on, but for now I just stamped the sentiment in shaded spruce. And I could have used early espresso, but I didn't. I used the shaded spruce. And then the envelope, again, I may change this one out for just a plain whisper white one once I get them. Because that way I'll have more than 1 envelope left. I'll have, I think, 4 if I change out all those envelopes that I said. So let me bring the cards back in and show them to you again. So this one was made out of, I'm sorry, these 2 were made out of 1 card front, and this card front was made out of the back to this card front. And then this was a card front. Actually, yeah, that was a card front. This actually might not be whisper white. This might have been the card back from, you know, another one like that. And then these were the first 2. Don't have room. I don't have room. And that's a nice, I think, masculine looking. Maybe this one and this one could be too. And the deer, really all of these, except maybe this one could be, they could be, all of them could be either gender friendly, I think, for the holiday. So let me know what you think. I didn't go, you know, all fancy foldy and stuff this time, but I think the cards came out very nice, and I probably will be sending these out during the holiday season. So yes, there are my finished cards. I hope you enjoyed them, and these are the alternates for the month of October's Paper Pumpkin Kit. Don't forget, if you want the coordinating kit that goes with this, but it stands alone, you don't have to have this kit. Sign up before November 10th. This is what the promotion looks like. It's Winter Wonders Part 2. It is supposed to have 24 tags in it. 24 over-the-top tags in 4 designs. So that's 6 each of 4 designs. And same color scheme. Looks like it has wood grain, snowflakes again, pool party. Not seeing the, I think it said real red instead of poppy parade this time. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I intentionally didn't want to use everything in my kit this time. Since it coordinates, I may be using whatever comes in this kit to go with the current kit. And if you aren't signed up yet and you sign up for this one, if they have any more of these kits, they would be made available only to current Paper Pumpkin subscribers. Now, I don't know if they have any more of these. I have not honestly checked. And if you'd like anything else from Stampin' Up! In October, please use this host code. If your order's under 150, it's QU6RZSNB, and that's good till October 31st, and then we'll have a new code for Lisa Douglas's Stampin' Up! Party. So I hope you'll consider purchasing either in October or from Lisa starting November 1, and I'll have that video up on Friday morning for everybody. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate your support and encouragement, and I will be back Tuesday night live. I might be back later today with one planning type video and call for collabs. I have 4 collabs open for 2020. 2 of them I did separate videos on, but the other 2 I really haven't, and I'm going to do it all in one video and also remind people about the other 2. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. Hugs, love, and peace.